day was sitting here and I thought I'm going to put some makeup on and I might as well film it. So here I am, filming it. We are going to start off with a Serum Mist Hydrating Coconut. It's got acacia collagen, hyaluronic acid and vitamin B5, and this is from Barry M. So I spray that all over my face and I'm doing some, what Pampered Wolf calls pretentious wafting. Waiting for it to dry down a little bit, and then I am going to go in with Lacura Snapshot Ready Foundation Primer. But my mother phoned, so I had to pause for a minute there, and yeah. So now we're going to get the primer out, girls. We are going to get the primer out. I'm pulling all the crap out of my drawer as I'm telling you what it is. So if you hear me rifling around that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I smears it on good, I do. And this is a really, really nice one. This comes from Aldi, of all places, and I picked it up ages ago. I mean, I'm talking ages ago. I haven't even used, probably about maybe half. But yeah, it's in a black little thingy, and it says Snapshot Ready Foundation Primer, oil free. Get photo-ready makeup in a flash. This clear, oil-free formula creates a silky smooth base to improve the look of foundation, blah, blah, blah. And it really does. It's really, really nice. I really like it. So I plonks I plonks quite a lot of that on, actually. And then I wait for that to dry down a little bit. You can see me sweeping all my hair back. I've been taking biotin and marine collagen. And as a result, oh, that's my colour correction stuff by L'Oreal. As a result, all the hair that I lost after I had my son, who is going to be 7 in 2 days' time, is actually all starting to grow back. So I've got all this like wispy shit at the front, which is like doing my head in. But yeah. Anyway, that stuff I'm using is by L'Oreal Paris, and it is CC C'est Magique, and it's anti-redness skin enhancer. And what I do is I put it on a little plastic. Actually, what it is it's a stamping, called a stamping block, and it's for rubber stamping. But yeah, I put a squish on that, and then I get my brush and I put it on all my red bits, and it's brilliant stuff. I mean, look, all the red gone. How fantastic is that? So I splodge that around all over the place. My face is about 4 different colours, and yeah, I'm like, oh my lord. So anywhere where there might be a bit of red, I plonk it on. If I've got any left over, which I invariably do, I then mix it up with my foundation in a mo. I just add my foundation onto the little block. It's a little 1.5, 2 inch block, I think. Yeah, 2 inches, but I think. Yeah, if I have any left over, so you can see I've got like the little rosy apples at the front of my cheeks there by my nose. And then it sort of browns off, you know. I was watching YouTube as well, so you'll have to forgive the fact that I keep, like, getting distracted. I was watching Roly, I think. Yes. After this, I then go in with my L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation. What colour is this? I think this was Rose Porcelain. Yeah, this is Rose Porcelain. It's nice. I've had it for quite a while. The only thing that bugs me with foundation is you never know how much is left in the bottle. Even if you leave it standing for a few days, it doesn't ooze back down. So there you go. I splodge it on top of the green sludge, and yeah, I just get on with it now and just add it all in, because you know. And then I dab that all over the flipping place, because you know, it's got to, haven't you, really? When you've got skin that's as multicoloured as mine, you kind of need to put it everywhere. And don't forget to blend it down under your chin and up into your hair, because people don't, and it basically looks like someone's done a pie face of foundation. So get up into the hair there. Lovely. Look at that. See? I look gorgeous already. Just tired, eh? But yeah, the hair loss was a result of postpartum hair loss when my son was about 7 months old. It's funny, it was around about the time I stopped breastfeeding, actually. But yeah, so it was that, and also I suffer from chronic psoriasis on my scalp, which has affected my hair growth. So you can see it's quite thin there. And it looks even worse because of the dreads, really, but never mind, eh? Yes, you put foundation on over that cream. Okay, that cream is just an anti-redness. It's not foundation. It's a concealer more than anything. That was me getting distracted. I was like, what are they looking at? What are they looking at? It was Rolly and Luxaria, and they were doing a reaction video to things that people, cringeworthy facts people put online. It's quite funny. Now you can see I'm quite sort of dark underneath my bottom lip there as well, so I get right up to the lip. Now pulling all of these faces is mandatory, girls and boys. Yeah, you have to pull all the faces, especially as you get older, because you've got to get it in all the little cracks. But I go right up to my lips because I have some discoloration right on the edge of my lips. And then I noticed I actually had like a splodge-worthy amount of foundation on the end of my nose. That was what the face was all about. So going all around the moustachy bit. That's your philtrum there, yes. Across your philtrum, all around. Don't forget to do the underside of your nose. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen foundation being done and they don't do around the nostrils. And it just looks ridiculous. And now I'm getting my lightener. Now I use this because, as you can see, I have quite dark eyelids and massive suitcases, not bags, I have suitcases under my eyes. So I use this Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser, and it's a multi-use concealer in the shade 95, which is Cool Ivory. I prefer a lighter face, which is why I use all the ivory or porcelain coloured products, and I blend all that in with the same brush that I used for my colour corrector and my foundation. And it just helps lighten the skin under the eyes and on the actual eyelids as well. Takes away all that darkness. Sorry if you can hear a dog in the background. She's trying to get my attention. Now she's rolling around, rubbing her face everywhere. So once you've done all of that, you now need to get your yes, one of them, your sponge, your beauty blender. I'd forgotten to get mine wet, so I went off to do that. Now, skip back once I come back in and look at the difference in size of the beauty blender. You need to get your beauty blender wet. It's a sponge, okay? Run it under the water and squeeze repeatedly until the thing doubles in size, at least. Then squeeze it out, you know, quite thoroughly, because you need it to be damp. There's no point in just getting the outer area a little bit wet and then squeezing all that water out, because it will just disappear into the middle of the sponge. So there you go. You can see it's quite a lot bigger now than what it was. And now what you do is you bounce it off your face, right? So imagine that you're playing dodgeball and coach is like lobbing that shit at your face, all right? But it's a beauty blender, not a netball, because netballs hurt and your beauty blender shouldn't. So yeah. So go dabby dabby dab. I say that to my grandson, dab dab dab. Not with a beauty blender, with a muslin cloth after he's been sick. So yeah, you go dab it all off. And what that does is it helps even out the tone, gets rid of any brush marks, and just blends it all nicely together. One of these days I'll remember to put a flipping thing on my head to stop all my hair getting in the way. Your obligatory slurp of cola, because, you know, cola. Who doesn't love cola? I love cola. Here is my Beauty UK Posh palette. Now, this is Beauty UK. I don't even know if they're still going, you know. This is Posh palette number 1, and the palette is called Eden. My daughter bought this for me for Mother's Day, probably about 10 years ago. And I only recently started actually using it because I've only recently sort of gotten into makeup. Now, these are my brushes. The purple ones are the Royal and Langnickel, and I got these in Asda. Okay, I got a whole set. That brush that I'm using there is for Smoky Eyes, and I'm going in with, I'll show you all the colours in a minute. I forgot to show you before this. Now, I'm quite careful with this. This is my base shade, I suppose, or my transition shade, because I have hooded eyes. And I start off doing it in the cut crease, and then I bring it up enough so that when I relax my eyebrows back down, which I do in a sec, you can still see it. There you go, quick little look. And then obviously now's the difficult bit, is you have to make it even. Or as even as you can. The best phrase I've ever heard in makeup and beauty is sisters, not twins. And if you really can't be bothered, then cousins will do. And you put it on and it looks lovely. And then you relax your eyebrows and you're like, where the canal did it all go? Rowley obviously said something quite shocking there, because I went, oh! And it's also, for someone like me who's got hooded eyes, it's actually quite hard to keep your eyelids, your eyebrows rather, relaxed so that you can still see it after, you know, after you're not sort of looking shocked and surprised. So I used that shade there. They don't have names, okay? Here's me deciding what I'm going to use next. So I'm going to use that shade next. This is going to be my dark smoky, I suppose, the smoky bit. So what I do is I dab all that on, trying to keep my eyes quite relaxed so that I can see where it's going to be visible. And then I bring it along to help define that crease a little bit more. And again, you've got to get it even. This is a lovely brush. This is actually listed as for smoky eyes, and I do all the application with this, and then I grab another. This brush I got in Poundland. This cost me £1, this brush, and it's lovely. And this is what I use for blending, and then you just go round and round, backwards and forwards, you know, just to help make it all quite pretty. And then I look and I go, oh, well, I need to add a little bit more on that side because you can't see it quite so much when I relax. I think one of my eyes is a little bit more hooded than the other one, which is quite off-putting when you're trying to do your face, you know. And then you invariably end up going too bloody high, and it's like, oh, for crying out loud. Like that was obviously me declaring that I'm happy with the way that that looks. Now, I usually chop and change between two different colours. You see the far left, which is the one I pick, and the second from the right on the top row. These are what I use for my eyelids. Because one is a sort of really nice bronzy gold, and the one that I do pick is a rose gold. And then I suddenly remembered, hang on, you've got to put like a concealer on the eyelid to bring it back to base colour. So what I use is I don't actually use a concealer, I use the remains of my foundation. This is a Barry M brush that I'm using here just to apply the foundation on, so that I've got a nice sort of pale base to work from, really. So that's the dog barking, which somebody obviously walked past, which is a bit neurotic. I'm quite careful with this. The rest of it I'm a bit slapdash with, but I am, oh, the post lady's just walked past. I am quite careful with my putting this on, because obviously you don't want to fuck it up. I then realised that I'd actually managed to smudge a bit. You can see it on my cheek. I don't know how I managed to smudge a bit, but there we go. So, you know, I'm like, what the hell did that come from? I ended up getting foundation everywhere in a minute because I lent in it. So I've got the foundation there and I just wait for it to dry. Just, I don't really know why. And then I'm going to go in with the rose gold here. And I did use quite a lot, but I'm really, really pleased with how this came out. So I just sit here with my eyes shut, looking like a twit for a few minutes. And I used lots of this rose gold because I want it noticeable, you know. It's not as noticeable on camera as it is in real life. It looks quite pinky in real life. I mean, I'm looking at it now and I'm really, really happy with the way that it looks. So, yeah. I don't know why it's not as noticeable on the camera. So that's just brushing the excess off onto the back of my hand. Now that's when I noticed I'm leaning on bloody foundation all over the place and it was all over my hand. So I don't even know how I still don't know how I managed that. So now I'm going to go in with this. This is actually quite a light silver. It doesn't look it in the palette, but it is. It's a really, really nice light silver. And I'm going to highlight the brow bone with that. Just a little bit on the ends there. And it looks really nice when the light catches it. And then I'm going to go in with the white. I don't clean off the brush after the silver because then it gives that little bit of sparkle. I go in with the white into the corner there. Just again to sort of lighten things up nicely. So I clean my brush off. The trick is remembering to go and wash your hands afterwards. Now I get this. This is an angled, is it an eyebrow or an eyeliner brush, something like that. And I pulled a little bit of that nice goldy colour to go under my eyes. To bring that eyeshadow down a little bit. This is the one thing I'm not 100% confident on as to whether I'm actually doing it right. It's now 12 o'clock. That's what that little cheepy cheep was. It's my Apple Watch telling me it's 12 o'clock. I then got my blending brush and blended it in a little bit. I don't know whether I need to put it in further down my lower lid or, you know, because after I've put on the next shade and then the mascara, you can't really see it. But doing this makes my eyes water a little bit, which then makes the darker shade that I use to just line my lashes, that one, sort of run a little bit. So, you know, that's another reason why I'm not 100% sure I'm doing this right. No, I don't use eyeliner because that just makes my eyes water really, really bad. So I just use this dark colour and I just swipe it across the lower lashes and it just looks like a nice discreet eyeliner, really. Well, I think so. So I'm done with that palette now, and what I'm going to do now is just triple check in the mirror, let you guys have a look. Now I'm getting out my blusher brush. And this is, oh, this is by Rimmel. Yes, this is Maxi Blush, and it is in the colour 006 Exposed. This is new. I've only used this about 3-4 times, and I love it. I love the colour. It's a beautiful colour. And I just go swish, 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 swish. Blow off any excess, and then I do it from the hairline, basically, down to about the outer corner, halfway through my eye line, sort of thing. And then I bring it up to my head a little bit, just to put a little bit of colour in. And I sort of do it in a way that it looks contoury and pink all at the same time. Yes, I do put it on quite heavy, but, you know, why the fuck not? Then, oh, this is also new. This is my highlighting palette. This is newer than my blush. And I'm still playing with all the different colours to see how they come out. So I initially said, oh, I'm going to use the end one. And I think, did I use that one? Yeah, I did use that one. And I put it on and it came out this beautiful gold. And I was like, oh, I love it. Oh, I'm going to fucking put it everywhere. So I now look like I've been dipped in gold. And then I gave it a little blow off, and I was going to use that one, and then I thought, you know what, no, I'm going to go for the end. So I used that one just to highlight on the head a little bit, and then down on the nose. And then I had an idea, so instead of putting it away, I just left that on one side. This is, the brush is by, oh, what are they called, flipping heck? Bare Minerals. Was it Bare Minerals? Oh no, yes, it is. I'm looking at the wrong brush. Yeah, Bare Minerals brush, and the face powder is a really, really cheap one by Collection, and it's primed and ready, invisible setting powder. And I use number 1. And it's great stuff. It goes on really, really lightly, and I just sploosh that all over the place with the Bare Minerals brush. Now I move on to the liquidy shit. So I use Brow This Way, and it is the 003 Dark Brown. Give it a good shake, and this is a brow mascara. It's actually got a spoolie brush in it, like your mascara does have. And the trick is to just very, very lightly coat your eyebrow hairs, really. And sometimes it comes out a little bit clumpy, so just keep at it until you've picked them all up. And it just gives me a nice little bit. See, I got a little bit there on my head. The trick is leave it and come at it again with a dry bit of cotton in a minute. So I just very, very gently, it shouldn't touch the skin, okay? It should only touch the hairs. And then you get a little bit of cotton and you just dab it and give it ever such a small wipe. Otherwise it'll smudge and it'll end up everywhere. See, I actually like wiped it off and then smunched it back on twice. Look, it just kept going further and further up my head. I was like, for fuck's sake. But there you can see the difference. The brow on my right and the brow on my left. So now I'm going to do the other brow. I always have more trouble going down the thin part of this brow without pressing too hard. So I declared myself happy with that. Now I am coming in with my Maybelline Colossal Big Shot in Daring Black mascara. I love this mascara. It's great. It is not clumpy. It does not look like you have fucking spider webs and Christ knows what else stuck to your eyelids. It's a nice mascara and it goes on really, really nicely. I love it so much. I have another bottle waiting for when this bottle runs out because I like it so much. I do that. When I find one I like, I will buy sort of several of the same products so that I've got it for ages. Because I did that with my favourite lipsticks and then they actually stopped making them. I was gutted. So very, very carefully apply to my lower lashes, which my eyes are already watering ever so slightly. It's just making that makeup run. But this is lovely because it just makes your eyelashes look longer and thicker without having to use false lashes. I can do false lashes. I have done them before. I used to wear them quite regularly. But now that I am a full-time spectacle wearer, long lashes just don't work because they brush the inside of my glasses and drive me dotty. Absolutely dotty. Because you can feel them like sweep the inside of your... Keep your glasses clean, I suppose, but it's a pain in the ass. So, yeah, if you're happy with everything you've seen, you know, don't forget, you can hit a like. That would go down super duper nicely. And I'd love it if you subscribed as well. That would be awesome. Now I am pulling out, I believe, my lip liner. I'm trying to read it and I haven't got glasses on, look. Yeah, this is my, now who is this by? This is Maybelline. And it's Colour Sensational. I've pulled the wrong colour out. For God's sake, woman. What's the matter with you? I've lost the other one. Where is it? I can't find it. Is that it? Ah, here we are. Yeah, Maybelline Colour Sensational Lip Liner in 775 Copper Brown. Now, what I do is I lines the lips, and I do like a cross at the top, as you can see. And then I add the pencil sort of between the edge of my lips and the line of the cross. I do it on the sides of both the upper and lower lip. And then I go around my piercing with it. And what this does is it helps, because you see I've got quite pale lips, it helps the actual lipstick stick to my lips. Yeah. So there's me going round the piercing there. And I will grab a lip liner brush in a minute and spread it all about, really. I apologise if you can hear that noise. That's my neighbour's dog. I dog sit, and she's rolling about in the hallway going, oh, oh, because she's a bit dim, really. Yes. So there you go. I use the brush to basically apply that evenly all over my lips. And the other advantage to doing this is if my lipstick does wear off, I've still got the liner on. So it doesn't look quite as odd. Now I'm going to pull out my Superstay Matte Ink by Maybelline liquid lipstick in the number 75, and that is Fighter. This is quite a new shade. I've only been wearing it for a few weeks, but it's really nice, and it blends with that lip liner really, really well. So we're going to apply that all around the lips. This stuff goes on beautifully. I apologise for the dog noise. never work while there are children or animals in the vicinity. So I go all around the vertical lip piercing you can see there. To make it pretty. And then I get I believe she says, it should be my fixing mist now. This is number 7 and it's Hydroluminous Hydrating Fixing Mist. And it instantly hydrates makeup and lasts all day. And you just basically hold that a certain amount of space from your face and spread on. Don't use too much. You don't need to use too much. And then a bit more of the pretentious wafting. And then what you're going to see me do in a sec is wet my finger and I go around and clean my jewellery, because since the beginning of this I have plonked powder, highlighter, setting powder, setting spray, you name it, it's all been added to all of this jewellery. So I clean it all off with my finger and yay, glasses go back on. Yeah, I was dancing to music at this point. Now I get my blusher brush again. This was something new that I decided to try today. And I picked up my highlighting palette. Which colour did I end up going for? Yeah, I went for that top left one. And I dabbed it onto the lipstick. I was initially just going to do the middle and then I was like, oh my god, I love it. So I've now changed that from a sort of orangey brown to this beautiful shiny gold. And I really like it. I really, really like it. So that's pretty much it. Just going to rearrange the mane for you so you can get the full effect. And I think I go out and pose in the one spot in my house where I can get enough light without it all reflecting in my glasses. So yeah. So please give me a like. I would really, really appreciate it. Comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, all of that go on down below. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. That'd be cool. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys. Bye.